Hello everyone, welcome to my first Magic Arena deck tech. So, we are going to be going over white-blue approach today. I'm getting more and more into some Magic Arena content. It's nice that we have a more visually appealing and more accessible, I feel, kind of setup for this. So I hope that you're all ready for a little bit of extra content here and there, just doing some cool deck techs for Magic Arena. Right now, you might know that Arena is a little bit of a blasted landscape of blue-black scarab gods everywhere. But if you want to save a little bit of your wild cards, as they are, you can do this list pretty cheap. And what's nice is that a lot of the cards that you want to build for this, I feel like they go across different things. So the big ones being, like, right now I have Supreme Wills and Castouts are one of the main ones that I had to use actual uncommon wild cards on. If you don't know the system, you get wild cards occasionally and you can use them to make anything. You cannot trade in cards to make other cards, you have to open wild cards. So you have a limited number of them and you have to use them to craft different things. Supreme Will, though, is very, very useful in other like control lists, especially blue-black, which, as I said, is probably one of the best lists right now. And then also, Cast Out is just useful for pretty much any white deck that you want to build. A very, very handy removal spell. So building both of those is not a terrible plan. The other cards that you'll want to build are you do need a couple of rares. So I went with Settle the Wreckage and Approach of the Second Sun. As you can see, I'm pretty tight on them right now. I managed to open a Settle the Wreckage, and I got one Approach of the Second Sun, and I've used 2 rares so far to make 2 more approaches. So it hasn't been too expensive. The other rare that you'll see here is Pull from Tomorrow, but don't worry, you get that in your opening packs. So when you have an account on this, you'll automatically have a Pull from Tomorrow as part of one of your starter decks, so no big deal. All the rest of the deck is basically commons and stuff that you'll already have. Orazca Relics and Sailor of Means you'll get very, very quickly. Cancels and Countervailing Winds, Strategic Planning, Seeker, Opt. You start out with Opts even. So you're pretty good on all that. You would like to have some more Ipnu Rivulets. I really like this because you're able to discard some cards off the top of your library and immediately dig down to your Approach of the Second Sun. I've had a lot of people not expect that, and I mean, you might as well just be drawing 4 cards at that point because all you need to do is cast your second approach. So Ipnu is really sweet. You start out with one final rare, which is Arch of Orazca, and you get that just automatically in your packs as well. So, again, no need to craft it. I'm going to leave the actual deck list below, but you have basically your strategy is to play a bunch of different card draw things, so Opt and Strategic Planning, and then maybe cycling some Countervailing Winds. This is the tricky part, is knowing when to cycle your Countervailing Winds and cast outs. Drawing off of Orazca Relics and Supreme Will until you hit your Approach of the Second Sun. You play one, and then you just try and live long enough to hit the second. So that's all we're trying to do, is just Second Sun into Second Sun, and all the rest of the deck is just card draw and counter spells. Countervailing Winds being pretty good just because of the fact that we're playing a bunch of spells like Opt and Strategic Planning that are going to dump a bunch of cards into our graveyard right away, so we'll be able to counter things very, very efficiently with Countervailing Winds. And it gives us a little more flexibility than Cancel. Not having the double blue is nice, and it's also useful because of the cycling. Pretty rare after like turn 4 that you're not able to just hard counter everything with Countervailing Winds. You can get a lot of things into your graveyard very, very quickly with this deck. And you have some things like Evolving Wilds too in your land slots, and same with some cycling lands as well to just further help that along. In any case, I'm going to leave the deck list below the video here today so you can check it out yourself and see how easy it is for you to build it. If you have a white-blue quest in Arena like I do, you might want to build something like this. So we're going to run through a gauntlet of 3 games, and I'll see you on the other side. Ooh, this is a good hand. We have all of our colors. We've got an Orazca Relic to help us just kind of ramp out a little bit. It's also really useful to be able to get the Ascend mechanic. It's not a huge problem if we don't get it, but it's really, really nice when we have the Orazca land that we can just draw extra cards off of it. and you need to ascend to do that, so having some kind of permanence to put into play helps with that. Another reason why we have Sailor of Means in the deck. Good blocker at 1/4, but also making a treasure and a creature can put you into the ascend realm of things. And let's just slam into strategic planning right away. Ooh, awesome. Already hit the approach. That's perfect, because definitely the hardest thing is getting down to an approach. I think the last game that I played, I had 20 cards left in my deck, and I hadn't seen an approach yet, so it can definitely be an issue. Opponent's still not playing anything. Good. And it's only a Censor, but I think I want to hold up Countervailing Winds. I could be wrong on that. I might want to just play the Orazca Relic. Yeah, maybe Relic is fine here. We've got to leave down the defenses at some point. And I need to actually ramp into this approach. It seems like our opponent probably has like an Abrade or a Lightning Strike. Oh, Desert of the Indomitable. So they might have a lot of lands in hand, just cycling one away. Oh, do they not have... Oh, this is perfect. So now we just have counterspells forever. And we can sit back, relax, and wait for our opponent to make a move as we slowly build up the lands that we need to approach. I might even cycle a Countervailing Winds here. Or probably just play Supreme Will. Yeah. All of that is moot because I am just going to counter this. There we go. No Vizier the Menagerie for you, thank you. I could also have used Cast Out. I might want to cycle it. I've got 5. I just need 2 lands. I'm going to cycle. All we really need is to hit land. Alright, perfect. Oh, wow. Alright, this is an awesome, awesome game. I would be very surprised if we can't win here. They're not going to have any counter magic, so they can't stop the approach. And they're not dealing us any damage yet. Just Countervailing Winds. Jade Light Ranger is a fair bit of value. I don't mind countering it here. Did I not tap? There we go. This gets a ton of value. I just don't want to give it to them. We get to approach this turn, and then our opponent is on a very short clock. Oh, wow. With double Supreme Will, they're not going to be able to get out of this. I would be stunned if this changes it. We are absolutely in the driver's seat. Sick game. This deck is pretty decent, but it does not normally work this well. Abrade the Orazca Relic. Nice. That's a cool choice. I don't think it's going to matter. The Supreme Will should be able to draw us another land. We Kindling Phoenix. We get a 4/3. Could Hieroglyphic Illumination and hope to hit a land so that we can hold up Supreme Will? It's super greedy. Probably the right way to do things is just use one Supreme Will, leave the other one in hand, and see what happens. I'm going to play it now, though, so that we can play a land if we draw it. Desert. We don't want desert, so we'll just grab an island. I want to have the untapped land so we can play this Hieroglyphic Illumination if we want instead. Cool thing about this is that we can actually look at the top of our deck, so you can see exactly where it is. You don't have to bother writing it down. Nice advantage of a digital game. Yeah, I don't even care. I'll just let that resolve. Not an issue. Down to 23, but the game is over. So let's just draw some cards. I'm just going to do this now to show them, because honestly, they should just know that the game's done. They're tapped out. We just drew our approach. Oh, wow. It is done. Very nice. That was nice and tidy. Red-green is a really good matchup for this deck, though. It's a little bit dicier when you come up against really, really fast aggro decks, or when you come across more control lists, because you have to fight through their own counter magic. Not going to be really tough, because you have silver bullet cards, so if they save up the right amount of counters for you, then you can be in trouble. You have to use your own counter magic to stop things like Scarab God a lot of the time, so it can definitely be tough. But against red-green dinosaurs, they're not quite fast enough to really pressure you early, and you can just use your like cast outs and stuff to get rid of the really big problems, and then you'll be able to approach and win the game fairly easily from there. At least in my experience so far. I've had a really good matchup against them. Let's go for game 2. Oh, good hand again. We've got all of our colors, 3 lands. You want to have a lot of lands, and you want to make sure that you have at least blue. Probably both, but it's nice to have at least an island. Ooh. I've got to keep it. It's just too important to our game plan. Like I said, one of the biggest issues is making sure that you actually get one. Because I've had more than a couple times where, unfortunately, you're just stuck with it in your bottom, like, 10 cards of your library, all 3 of them, and that's just too rough. It's hard to get through it. I've done it. I have won games like that too, but it is not easy. That's a slog. I'm playing it this way so that I can get the Seeker down. We have the Countervailing Winds. I really want to get our tap land out. Oof. I'm gonna pass right now, and I'm not attacking with the Seeker of Insight. There's really, like, 0 reason to ever do it. They paused, so I stopped passing, because I want to see what's going on here. This is your pass the turn if you click on it, and it'll just basically F6, just like on Magic Online, where it'll keep passing priority through the rest of your turn. But you can unclick it and take priority back. Opponent is stalling out here. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to attack because we're never going to have enough damage to actually kill them. And I might be able to Countervailing Winds and then use Seeker of Insight, which is pretty important for us. We just want to dig, dig, dig. We need a very specific package of cards, so the more card draw that we get, the better. And now we're just waiting for our opponent. The black-green starter deck is an explore deck, so we might expect that from them. You don't see a lot of black-green. I have seen a lot of green-black-blue, where they're playing like Scarab Gods, and they're basically the blue-black control list, but they might have opened like a Orazca, so that can happen. Jade Light? Nope. Our turn. Get our land down, and once again, we'll just pass. You've got to imagine, at this point, our opponent has probably figured out that we're on approach. Otherwise, like, we should be attacking with Seeker of Insight. Reaver Ambush. Honestly, not that big of a deal. Like, it's unfortunate that we lose it. It's nice to be able to select cards. But right now, we don't have anything that we can really use it with anyways. We could have if we used the Countervailing Winds. But using a Countervailing Winds to stop that is pretty medium. Yeah, we'll let that resolve. I'm not super worried about that. I think I might cycle here, too. Honestly. I'm not super happy about Path of Discovery, but I really need to hit my lands, and I can just try and counter the creatures instead. And we'll pass the turn. Xali's Diviner. We can't actually Countervailing Winds that, because we only have 2. So they'll get Enter the Unknown, making something explore. And... oh, they won't throw it. They threw it in the graveyard the second time, but not the first time. Huh. Okay. I'm a little confused by that. I'm going to cycle this. Because again, I just want to make sure that I'm actually hitting land drops every turn. I might Countervailing Winds again, too. With the approach in hand, we just really need to make sure that we can actually hit it on curve. Okay. Now things are starting to look up. Wild Growth Walker. That I'm a lot more concerned about. I'm gonna Supreme Will to get another card into our grave, and then I'll Countervailing Winds it. This might be a bad idea. But I really need to hit the other land anyways. Ooh, both tap lands. That's unfortunate. But we'll make it work. And then counter it. Wild Growth Walker can just be too big of a threat. It gets large fast. Emperor's Vanguard. Cool. I'm hoping that our opponent will just keep attacking. We'll get Meandering River. I might just cast out this path. Maybe I should have before. Man, untapped land would have been incredible here. I'm gonna pass. Honestly, I'm tempted to cycle to cast out later. I want to be able to settle the wreckage instead. Really depends on how well our opponent plays around us having the cast out. Shadowed Caravel. Or Caravel? Something like that. It's the floaty boat. The one that gets extra +1/+1 encounters whenever they explore. So that can get pretty large. Throwing it into the grave. And attacking us for 5. Not excited about this, but we'll manage. Really awkward timing on this because we could... cast out. I really want to cast the approach next turn, but I also want to cast Settle the Wreckage, so like I do not want this to explore again. Oh well. Not much choice. We're gonna Evolving Wilds, sacrifice it, and then approach. Key thing, remember, don't play an Evolving Wilds and sacrifice it after you cast Approach. That is what is known as a bad play. You'll shuffle away your Approach to the Second Sun, and who knows if you'll draw it again. Alright. Gonna be taking a lot of damage. But we have settled, we have cast out. We'll try and get back into this game. Deadeye Tracker. Okay. Secret Squire. Throw that into the grave immediately. Ow. And they hit a forest. I mean, the good news is that they'll probably just go for the win. Not looking at the Settle the Wreckage. Bad news, they still have 2 cards in hand, and Path of Discovery is still a bit of an issue. I maybe should have countered it, or just used Cast Out on it when I had the opening. I really want to use Cast Out to draw a card, though, and just dig down closer to the approach of the second sun. Opponent's deep in contemplation. Okay. I figured out they want the land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, 8. It's fine to cast Meandering, or play Meandering River then. I can both cast out and settle the wreckage if I need to. Okay. Send with the team. Good, good, good. That's what we needed. They do get a lot of lands, so it means they're going to get a lot of gas. But we still have the cast out, and hopefully we'll just hit a draw card and then we're just good. If we get something like Supreme Will would be excellent. And nothing big. Mausoleum Harpy. The big question is, do we think that Cast Out is going to save us more time by drawing a card or by killing Mausoleum Harpy? And I think that we're going to want to just kill Mausoleum Harpy here. It will mean that the Arch of Orazca is on. So we'll be able to draw extra cards off of that. Nope, that's not what I want to do. You can press Control Z and just get back out of it. So if you accidentally misclick, not too terrible there. Uh-oh. I don't like the we hope that our opponent has nothing plan that we're currently on. Oh wow, they had nothing. I like it more than I realized. Nice. And we get a gold star. Well done. Well, we're 2 for 2. Can we go all 3? This has a lot of lands, which sounds like a bad thing, but is actually kind of awesome. I'm a little bit worried about the lack of draw. I'd love to, like, change one land for a Supreme Will, or even the Countervailing Winds for Supreme Will or something. Honestly, Sailor Amines could be any kind of draw spell, too. I'm gonna keep. Risky. If they're an aggressive deck, we're in a lot of trouble. Let's just thin things out a little bit. Also get something in our graveyard for Countervailing Winds. I tell you, switching from Eternal to this is a little bit tough sometimes, because I keep on wanting to say things like, you know, into our void. Using the different terms here. Am I going to want to count... The thing is that I'm just wondering if I want to cycle the Countervailing Winds. There's a decent chance that I do now that we have the cancel. So I'm going to do that. Ooh. Remember I said I hope that our opponent's not a super aggressive deck? Hello, super aggressive deck. Cycle this. Getting a second Countervailing Winds is fine, actually. Sailor of Many can't block the Goblin Trailblazers, so it's probably better to hold up Cancel or Countervailing Winds and then just pass. If they do nothing, I can opt. Goblin Trailblazer is actually a really big problem, because normally Sailor of Means can blank a lot of early attackers like this, but not the Trailblazer. Harsh Mentor. I'm just gonna cancel that. I'm using cancel instead of Countervailing Winds because this is going to have enough in our graveyard to counter anything anyways, and it gives us a little extra flexibility to be able to cycle it. Play the Meandering River so we can cycle the Desert of the Mindful if we need to. And I'm still just going to hold up Countervailing Winds. Again, still more important than Sailor of Means since it can't block this anyways. So the only way we can't counter a thing here is if they play it as a 1-drop specifically. And if they don't play anything, then we just get to cycle Desert and Opt. Ooh, nice. Well, I am more than happy to do that then. Strategic planning is pretty good. It's a lot of digging that we get to do, so it might really help us. Ooh, Orazca Relic. That's an interesting one. Do I want an Orazca Relic? It can give us a little bit of life better. A little bit of life better. A little bit of life later. And it does help us get some extra mana. I wouldn't mind an untapped land. We have the strategic planning. I'm gonna bottom. I kind of just want the land, honestly. It's a lot of tap lands. Well, since we can't hold up 5 mana, we're just going to pass this way. And so we can still hold the Countervailing Winds. And then next turn we can use, like, a Cycle of the Desert of the True, or strategic planning, and still Countervailing. We can even place Sailor of Means. Yeah, no, we do not want Captain Lannery's Storm here. It lets them have a lot of ramp by having Captain Lannery's Storm. Making a treasure every turn gives them a lot of extra mana, and we just can't really deal with that. Another Countervailing Winds. Okay, I'm gonna play one without cycling it. Strategic planning. And then we're gonna be able to hold up the Countervailing Winds still. Oof. Seeker of Insight might be the card to get, because we can double block this stupid goblin. This goblin Trailblazer is a big issue for us. So as you can see, just little tips if you ever play Arena. You manage to get into the closed beta right now. You can go back and forth between the different screens here with that little button. Oh, is Seeker good enough? I think that's what we want. I still need a land, but I mean, this helps us possibly dig. And it just seems so important to get a blocker for this Goblin Trailblazer. It's dealt us 8 damage so far. This has not been nothing. Sorry, it's only 6. They've done 2 Sunscorched Deserts. Apologies. My opponent is pausing, and I want to know why. Unlikely that we would want a Countervailing Winds, but I'll check it. They've got 5 cards in hand. I'm surprised there's not more stuff coming down. Like, maybe they're missing a color, but I don't think so with the deserts. I've got to think they're just mono-red. It's just kind of stunning that they've got 5 lands in play, but haven't really been playing anything. We're going to let that resolve. I still have the Sailor of Means, and we have the Seeker. So we can start blocking. Alright, let's do Desert. It's very possible that they've got like a bunch of braids in hand. Okay, Sailor of Means first. If this was an untapped land, we could actually play Seeker and hold up Supreme Will Countervailing Winds. So, kind of unfortunate. I wanted to lead with the Sailor because the odds that they have like a Lightning Strike or an Abrade for this are really high. And I don't know that we can actually counter it. It's too hard to say, like, to spend a very precious counterspell on an Abrade there seems mediocre. Yep, I will absolutely do it. Down to 7. Sand Strangler. Well now, that I don't think we want to see. If it was something like a Braid, as I said, I don't think I would have wanted to counter it, but Sand Strangler, oh, absolutely. I can't let them have another 3/3, especially when we lose this creature. Settle the Wreckage is not the worst. And now we have our blocks. Might have wanted to Supreme Will that, but I really wanted to try and dig too. At this point, we're relatively stable. I just really want to actually hit the Approach of the Second Sun. If we can hit Approach the Second Sun in the next turn or two, we probably win this game, because I don't think it can deal us 14 damage that fast. Uh-oh. That is a clock. Opponent not doing anything. Give me something good. I might have wanted to hold on to this just because I can use the Seeker of Insight later. Lightning strike me. Uh-oh. Oh, it's too bad there's both of them. Because one's going to the bottom. But, still pretty solid. I am very happy to see you. Can they kill me? Oh, baby! Woo! Oh, that was good. I was actually in an interesting position. I don't know that I would have wanted to use the Seeker of Insight at the end of that turn, because it means that I can't block the 2/1, and all we need to do is just cling on to life for long enough and we get there. So it's like, is a card worth 2 damage? Hard to say when we're only at 11 and our opponent is on mono red with a Ramanop Ruins in play. I'm really surprised that they quit there, honestly, because that was a close game. Like, they were definitely still in it. We could have easily lost that. Like, there's no guarantee that our next card was anything but a land. And with that Ramanop Ruins, we were on a short clock, even at 11 life. So, good game, very interesting. We went 3-0 with this deck. And like I said, this deck's pretty budget, like, it's not hard to build. So if you're having trouble, we've talked about the economy in Magic Arena being a little bit tight right now. You're not able to actually buy gems and stuff, which is one of the big reasons. And Magic is just testing out what the economy will be once it goes into open beta. So it's a little bit stingy currently. They have added some extra packs where you get some extra rewards on Fridays now. You get 3 packs. But at the same time, it's still tough to build things. So this is a nice little starter deck if you want to try and do something that's white-blue control. I hope you enjoyed watching some gameplay today. And please remember to like and subscribe the video. I know that it's a thing that every YouTuber asks at the end, and it's a little bit of a joke, but it does help us out a lot. This is something that I do full-time. I have my Patreon down below, as you may notice. And, you know, it's always a little bit tight. You always got to scrape by a bit as a content producer. So Every little bit helps, and I really do appreciate what I do get. So speaking of little bits that help, Inked Gaming, they're my wonderful sponsor. We have some really cool Magic playmats and stuff through them, and they also produce a lot of other people's stuff, obviously. Inked Gaming is a very, very big playmat producer. They also do things like mouse pads and dice bags and all kinds of really cool gaming content. And we have a special promo code. So if you go down below, it's Ilyon12. It's all down in the description. And you can go to inkgaming.com and use that promo code Ilyon12 for 12% off any order that you get. And I would really appreciate that. It certainly helps out the stream, and Inked Gaming is a fantastic, fantastic store. So highly recommend their products, and I will see you again next week.